Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is free range. And for some reason, my intro and some of my video clips are not working. So we're just going to go right into the show and start it. And we're going to be talking about how they shape your behavior with fear. And the more you're aware of it, the better off you'll be. And let me bring Jenny Lee on and we'll talk about it again. I don't know why it's telling me that I won't let me play my clips. That's really weird. But okay. There.
Nice.
Welcome, Jenny. We don't have any beginning on this one.
That's the energy today. It's just messing with everything. There's nothing you can do about it.
Certainly seems that way. Yeah, it just says video clip playback failed. Please try to contact support. Well, I don't have time to contact support right now. So we're just going to go right into the show. And here we are. And I don't have any beginning on this one.
That's the energy. Okay.
All right, yeah, I mean, look at here. We got a bunch of people in the chat already. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of tossed up for how things are going right now. And then, and I feel like there's a lot of my predictions, it's just coming to a halt on, spirits had me focused on Putin, and they keep talking about Putin. And then I did a prediction on him saying the vessel that's inside him is not him, but what he will do is save humanity in the move that he's going to make here soon.
Wow. There's a prediction to that effect. I don't know if it was Edgar Casey that said that, or was it Nostradamus? One of them said that Putin was going to play a very important role at this time.
I don't know who did it, but they showed me in the vision of, they said to look at his eyes and you could see beyond him, and that he'll be known for saving humanity.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting however that plays out.
Sorry, somebody's trying to call me. I just hung up. Okay, so go ahead.
So it's going to be an interesting situation whenever that occurs, because I really believe it's going to make people, I would say anxious, but just being praised towards him of making that move of direction. So it feels good. And, and this is like 3 years ago that they were showing me this prediction, and it's really showing itself very strong right now of being present in the situation of him, seeing his face and the reaction and the calmness, and then the action that he does.
Well, they're always after Putin and Russia, Russia. And in the long run, Russia is the one that saves the world.
I know, right?
Maybe that's why they've gone after it so much, because they always had a way of looking into the future, I believe, or predicting the future, because they kind of wrote it themselves, actually, or planned it. And they, I mean the bankers and the overlords of this realm,
right?
Shall we say?
Exactly. And, so it's going to be interesting because it feels like, because it felt like, missing, sweating it out a little bit, and then all of a sudden this decision is made and we're in the clear. But I don't know, I keep getting, it has to do with the Holy Land too, so there are some strong situations going, and I've done the predictions on the Holy Land. And like I saw yesterday, they have fires there, and that's the last war. And everybody that's there is shot up pretty good. And I've talked about those in predictions and what we're going to see come to the surface. And it's going to present, and then we're going to know what's really under the Holy Land and the Vatican. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen that are going to be revealed.
Disclosure you're talking about.
Yes.
Have you been given any, do you think the tribunals that we've heard so much about, that's going to happen sometime soon?
Well, it's already been happening. The problem is they're not showing society.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Nobody believes it until it's on TV, and the sad part of it is that's probably something we should go away from. Yeah, or get away from.
Well, I think they're starting to leak everything out now. So I think it's just going to be a leak that's going to consistently go, and then people start to share it.
Right. Of course, they're not leaking it really too much through the mainstream media at this point in time, though. So that's a problem. Basically, they're doing what I've seen referred to as psychological occupation, and which works by deception with layers of lies in between a little bit of truth here and there. Yeah, and they just like using slogans like, think about this one: safe and effective, safe and effective. I mean, those kind of slogans, and it's always about our safety, or so we're told.
Yeah.
And it's never about the safety.
Yeah, they didn't care about that a long time ago, and they still don't, and to a certain point. We're just facing the truth on that. So, because they showed me the golden age, but the golden city would be above Jerusalem. Because there's an activation underneath there that has to happen, but also there's a lot of things that have to be on the surface of the land to be revealed. And it was very interesting that they had to, when they started to make that new temple there, that was the beginning, and that was when Trump was in the administration before, and they laid the first shovel in the ground, and they showed me that was important for the start of that. But now we're in the biblical times of this spiritual war that's happening now. It's supposed to surface because there are things in the ground that are not of human source, and there are tunnels, small doors that reach to every church, and they're all in cahoots together. That's the problem with this whole thing. And they're all kept a secret. So that's
like all we see is the tip of the iceberg, but the iceberg goes way down.
Way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a picture that I did of the Holy Land, and then it has stairs and it has libraries and everything that they are not revealing yet. So the Vatican and the Holy Land are two areas that they just need to start digging down in that area. And like I said, I don't have the picture, but in the Vatican, I drew a drawing of a cup. And the drawing of the cup has a cross that's upside down. And it has a cross that's upside down, and it's in one room. And this cup is in the center of the room, underneath the Vatican. Stop. Sorry, I can't. In the Vatican, at the bottom of this room, and it's a special cup, but on the cup, it had the cross upside down, and it had teeth of innocent children on the cup.
Oh,
and that was the one thing that it's something. Then you can tell. I knew that they put blood in that too.
These people are so sick, unbelievable.
Yeah, but what the power of that cup has and what it holds is something that needs to be in a black box, because it feeds the evil. And there's a lot of evil that's fed beneath the Vatican. And that's where they kept these entities and these beasts. So if they start to look at any of that stuff, they got to be careful. They got to have a spiritual mind to look at this stuff or handle it. It's not something a normal human would be able to understand what's being fed underneath. So there's going to be some items that are going to surface that they're going to have to handle with care and be very careful with these doorways that are down there. Let me do something with that cat.
The doorways.
Okay. Yeah, there's doorways. There's doorways, there's smaller doorways that reach to each church. And they showed me, I mean, some of these doorways, they showed me one, it goes all the way out to an old reservoir or dam. I mean, I had to look and do research of the oldest dam. So all these are all connected in some way. So they've been down there for a while.
We're talking in our country, or are we talking overseas?
Overseas.
Okay, by the Holy Land.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to deal with that area and the way that we have to deal with it in a spiritual battle way, you know, you're going to have a lot of reaction worldwide on energy, how it's going to react to things of that battle that was always going to come to an end. So the evil that resided in the Holy Land was just, it's crazy, you know?
Well, yeah, so, the place you would least expect it, it's got one of its strongest strongholds. Is that correct?
Yeah, both of them, the Vatican and that place. But the Vatican's the one that has the cup.
Oh, yeah.
Down deep below.
Mm-hmm. And then they've done all those red shoes too. It's disgusting. And children's teeth. It's like they mock us. They do mock us, actually.
Just arrogance. Yeah. I mean, demons are the same way. I mean, they're very arrogant until they're exposed. But yeah, that's just part of what they are. So there's an interesting that's something that's going to be exposed in a different way, and the skies are going to react when that is exposed and everything too. So, and the people that they said, the people of that land, because they've been shot up so bad that, you know, I'm seeing this zombie process going on in that area. So they always said it was the last war. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I listened to a very interesting video earlier today, or most of it, and one of the things that they recommended for everyone to do is to actually voluntarily turn off all media, all computers, all phones, everything related to that for about 14 days, enough to get away from the programming.
Right.
And to go within and start relying on your heart sense.
Yes.
In order to be able to figure out what's going on. Because one of the things that they say, you know, it's going to get to the point, it's going to get very loud and noisy, and it's going to be like, it's going to seem like the world against USA.
It is. But the United States is the one that has to go first. You know, we are the mothership of everything, and it has to go, then everything else falls along with it. So that's the thing with this. It has to go into a process. We're not going to get away with it not happening. You
mean the total fall of this is society or the economic collapse? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Well, with everything, and the States is the one that has to show everything. It has to be exposed. It has to be the one that's the leader, the warrior of this process.
Well, you know, there's a lot of executive orders that Trump signed that many people in the courts, whether they be judges, attorneys, or people in various positions, that are just ignoring his executive orders.
I know, but they're going to go to jail.
Well, that's
They
good.
don't think they're untouchable, but they're going to be going to jail.
They
Well,
think they're untouchable.
yeah, well, I mean, look at what the DOG is brought down, and I mean, so these judges and these Masons, they're not going to have a chance. They'll take them down too.
Well, what I understand is Masonry, until you get to the 33rd degree, the ones all under that just think they're a nice, good organization that's doing good things for society.
The whole organization of that is bad.
Well,
the root,
I agree, but
the seed of the root is, it has the spoils. And so I don't care what they haven't seen, what they have seen. The point is the foundation is built on a bad seed, and it's going.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm going, how can they not know? I mean, I'm not even a Mason, and I know. So how can other people that are Masons, I mean, they have to talk amongst each other. They should know that, you know, especially at the top, it's extremely evil, but which makes the whole thing, it just, you know,
the thing
right
is
down.
One drop of a child's blood, one knowledge of knowing what is going wrong with the child, you're already guilty. You're already guilty because you did nothing. You bear the witness and did nothing to save the child. You're already guilty.
There's a lot of people like that that haven't done anything. It's really sad. It's really amazing. But everybody's afraid for their own life at that point.
Right.
And a lot of people who did become whistleblowers didn't live very long. So there's an understanding to a certain extent about why people don't say things. But then the others that just do because they can't hold it in any longer. And that's always good. I mean, it's better to tell, because there is no death, even though, you know, it can be a sad situation regardless. But
well, I mean, some of these pedophilia and these evil ones have made the children suffer to a certain extent that is beyond the human pain. They're going to pay for that in many ways. And
that's so evil.
Yeah,
it's a child yet besides. I mean, it just boggles my mind how anybody can do that to a innocent a child that can't defend themselves. It's just, and anyway, let's see, I'm looking through to see if anybody has any questions. There's a lot of comments. Yeah, the Red Shoe Club is pretty disgusting.
Oh yeah, you know what made me sick is these people that are feeling sorry for the Pope, and I just want to. Oh my
God!
It is horrible. I just go, are you serious? You still are going down this route on things, thinking that
and honoring him and all kinds of BS like that. Oh my God, please. You know, the people that do that really need to see what he has done. And look at, he's already been dead for what, 4 years, 5, something like that. I mean, and they're first saying that he's dead now. Same with Charles. Same with the Queen. They kept her alive a whole heck of a lot longer than she was really actually alive. And remember that one, what was that one woman's name? I don't know. They pushed her around. I mean, she was dead a long time before they, she was on the Supreme Court, I believe, before they finally said she was dead. So we have, what was her name? I can see her face, but I can't think of her name for some reason. But anyway, they say that one of the worst things you can do, or the biggest psychological occupation, comes from watching the media. And that's how we lose our country, because they slowly take over by creating all kinds of fear, and then they.
I mean,
and
I really I don't watch news at all. I mean, I can't tell you. I don't watch sports. I don't watch news. I watch what I need to watch on Netflix and specific programs, but that's it. I mean, I couldn't tell you what's going on in the news right now.
Yeah, I can't either because I don't watch it. And we like to bring this back up again. It is all about the children. We won't have any children. We won't have a species if people don't stand up and stop this.
Right.
That's what
they wanted to do was annihilate that. You know, the whole process of annihilating it. And they like the conflict between men and women right now, and how they're dividing a little bit on a lot of areas and stuff. Because, you know, when it's like that, no one is reproducing or doing anything like that anymore. I think the rate per child is, you know, it's down in the United States.
It's way down. I heard that. I don't know if it was J.D. Vance or if it was Trump, but someone came out and said, oh, they want to have, they will reward people who have more babies. And, you know, I didn't hear anything about this. I just heard this. Somebody that was being put out there that, I know, I heard it from Jared Brand, that they were saying that they should have more babies. People should have more babies. Well, you know, and then they were worried about the parents being awake to teach the children correctly. So I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm not saying I would do this, but, you know, if they brought out the med beds, you know, if they ever do that, and they could age regress, and then people that still had their memory and so on intact, they would probably be some of the better parents to be able to have children again if they wanted to.
Yeah, you go right ahead. I'm done.
I was just gonna say, I didn't say that. I didn't say me. I didn't say me. I'm pretty well done too. But there probably are a lot of women out there who would be more than happy to do that again. And they're good at being a good mother, and that's good. So anyway, that's just another option instead of just saying, oh, everybody go out and have more babies. But they don't want to bring out they want people sick and unable to fight back and so on. Really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's great. And I have a friend, and she met a guy, and she thinks, well, you know, I'm a certain age, you know, after we get on the med beds, I'm like, touche for you. I'm done. You know, I'm like, imagine even going back to that. But hey, you know, some women see it. So I'm like, it's great. The ones that can, but there's a lot of us that will not do that.
Yeah. You know, it says, somebody just mentioned they're told once they reach the 33rd level, and that's true. But what I'm saying is, I cannot believe for 1 minute that they don't know that before then.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I know it. Why don't they know it? You know, if you're in it, why don't you know it? You know, that's all. So, yeah, this is true too. Evil abounds because good humans do nothing.
Right.
That's what got us to where we are.
They don't interact. They don't have the alpha in them to react to things the right way. Yeah, it's all programmed there. There's just in a hollow space.
Yeah. Well, they've been subjected to weaponized influence, and the worst thing you can do is be watching the news, because all they do is create fear, and then they slowly roll stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first it's just like they did with the thing. First it's a mask, then it's a pronoun, then it's a jab, then it's a rule, then it's a policy, then it's a term of service, and it's a social credit score. On and on, you know, a little by little, little by little, little by little, until they have complete control over us. And people, I don't know what it's going to take to make them see that.
I don't think, like I said, there's a certain percentage that are humans. There's a certain percentage that are NPCs and organic system and clones. Mm-hmm. We need to understand that that's pretty high up there. By the what you're getting in the younger generation. You're seeing a lot of clones. You're seeing a lot of NPCs programming.
I can't imagine telling a normie about an NPC though. Mathis is talking about having something going on in his ears. He's having clicking in my head, not my ears. So like Morse
Yeah,
code.
but the sounds are coming. They're not coming from outside. They're coming from inside you. That's the thing that Spirit was telling me. The sounds are coming from within inside us now. It's not from the outside. It is within us. That's changing. The clicking vibration.
What's making it do that? I don't get it.
Because we have always had that vibration that is connected to Creator, and that has been activated, and been that crystalline is being activation, but that is coming online and activating in the 5D process, and we think we're hearing it from the outside, and we're not. We're cold from inside out. We're warm from inside out. It's not the outside environment. We keep trying to turn on the heater or the air conditioner because we think it's the outside environment. It's not. It's inside us.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I have neighbors forming Trump protests. Yes, I can't believe. People are unbelievable.
Yeah, those newer trucks need to come out soon.
Teresa, I don't know who you're talking about here. Maybe I missed something. To not know he's been dead. Well, at least he didn't have red shoes like all the others. I'm not sure who you mean, Teresa. You might want to write it. Let us know who you're talking about. Here's the one I was talking about. Somebody brought it up. Ruth Ginsburg. I remember once they pushed her around, and I mean,
she was like Bernie's Weekend at Bernie's, just walking around like she's dead. And
she looked dead.
She looked like a corpse. I'm telling you.
Maybe it was.
It probably was. Moving a corpse around.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yep, you got it. That's right. Okay, somebody's asking, maybe you have an answer here. What to expect in May? What do you think we'll be going through in May?
I think a lot of development of new programs coming in. We're going to see a lot of new programs. A lot of the state changing to programs. So implementing new process that we're have to going through. And seeing the after effect of the tariff, what we're doing. And then I still think the dismantling phases of the IRS are going to start to show a lot of evidence.
Do you know that I read or heard that the IRS took in another $5 trillion, and they already had $5 trillion? That makes $10 trillion. Not one dime has come back to the people yet. There's been talk about that, but nothing has. There's talk about if you send your kids to school, we'll give you $10,000. Well, I mean, if you do homeschooling instead of sending them to school. Well, people are not going to believe anything until it actually happens. You can't see, we're so accustomed to believing what they tell us, and then it doesn't happen.
Right.
Now, and I'm feeling that way a little bit right now.
Well, I believe that all that money is already in an account and being built up in an account. I think we're going to get it back, but
a lot of people are.
They have to show and bear the witness of the IRS. They have to show how corrupt it is. They have to show you what you were really paying for, because everybody was paying for it. But I mean, I got to tell you, there's citizens across the world in the United States that are like, they're not paying taxes ever again. Like, it's left and right now. People are done being used.
Well, from what I understand, we've been supporting every single country on the planet. with our tax dollars, and we're taxed to death. I mean, let's face it, every time you're taxed, every time you turn around for something, or
Right.
you have to have a license, or you have to have an extra fee, or you have to have this, that, or the other thing, and you always got to pay for it. And so technically, those who are, think America is so bad because of the leaders who were bad, but the people have been very generous. Really, with other countries, and we were taxed to death in order to support the other countries, so they got a lot of nerve getting mad at us, if you ask me. But a lot of that money too came back to the politicians, and people got to realize that too.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I never heard this before. In Teresa saying in Denver, there's a summer camp for 9 to 14-year-old boys based on sex education, and it's federally funded. Ooh, that's suspicious.
Probably not no more. Probably not no more. I doubt it.
What? Somebody saying, oh, $5,000 for pregnancy?
That's not enough.
That's not, yeah, exactly. That ain't going to cover it. I'm sorry.
That is not enough. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what she was bad. Ruth Bad Ginsburg.
Oh, she was
wanted
bad.
To make the age of consent 12 years old.
Oh, yeah, that's not even, no.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah, may she rot in a different hell.
No, somebody said the crystal children cometh, they are here. That's the only thing about, you'd have very advanced children at this stage of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for some more, any questions out there. What? Forever Unlimited. Well, I had a client who couldn't conceive. She worked in a biolab. I'm sure she was jobs, and I didn't have the heart to tell her it's not my place to inform them of information that is available. I don't know. You can always plant a seed, so I don't know. We got to speak up. We got people need to learn. People need to know stuff.
Right.
The only way they're going to find out is if you slight their desire to know as a way of going. You don't have to tell the whole, story, but say something that makes them want to look into it more.
Exactly. They don't, though. I mean, it's just the way it is. Yeah, that's true. Because most are NPCs, they're not the same as human. Nope, they're not. They actually have a synthetic spirit, from what I've heard. I don't even call it a spirit. It's just synthetic. Like I think Jeep was showing me tonight, there's some activity happening in Mexico, and I kept showing that there's going to be an earthquake, almost like you see ground being pushed up towards California. There's a lot of volcanoes. There's a lot of earthquakes hitting. I mean, our world is reacting to what's going on spiritually. It's reacting the waters above, the waters below. It's reacting to our world and what's going to happen. I mean, there's not one safe place in this world anymore that's not getting a reaction from the earth shifting. So, I mean, I believe that keeping an eye on the ocean, because I feel that, like I said, there was going to be an opening in the middle of the ocean. And I also said keep an eye on the animals that were in the ocean to react on certain things when things are getting close to happening. So there's just a lot of stuff like that. That this is a chain effect that's starting to line up. And that's what's happening.
You have you been given any information about sea creatures that may be coming up that we didn't know existed?
I talked about it because the water's below, and then as this is the thing, is how things are, they surface because of the plates that they showed me, those circle plates, and as those are released, they're going to surface to the top, and then that's when you're going to see the water disappear and then come back again. So there's two different situations going on. So our inner Earth is surfacing. That's what I feel that's happening. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of people seeing creatures they've never seen before, because that inner Earth is opening up, and we're dealing with the situation in a different way.
That's your dog?
Oh, she's been whining a lot.
Maybe she's in heat.
No, she's not. She's just
she's
been outside a lot today. She's just that's the golden retrievers. That's something there.
Okay.
While you're answering, I'm gonna go put her out.
Okay. Well, I'm just looking for questions now. If anybody if you have your questions, you need to put them in the chat. I'm scrolling down. It looks like I got quite a few to go through here yet. Yeah. Opened that a long time. Yeah, we know that. Look at the spears.
Yeah, so the oceans, so you got the plates that I showed, the plates turning around the ocean at the bottom. And then so those waters are different too as it releases on top of the surface, and then you're starting to see new type of and I think that's why you're seeing some dolphins and stuff like that. They're beaching themselves because there's a change going on in the ocean.
There was a whole bunch of jellyfish. I mean, an extraordinary amount of them that beached themselves and died. I mean, they do a little bit of that, but not to the extent that they had recently. So some of the dolphins are doing that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did I do? This was kind of funny. That's what she was a copy riding on a pole with 4 wheels like luggage. That's Ginsberg. I mean, it was so funny. It was so fake. I don't know how people couldn't see that, Okay, here's a question for you. Is the remainder of April supposed to get bumpy for us?
Yes. Tired, exhausted. Feel like you're in a coma sometimes. Yes, it's going to be in a stasis process. And it just like today, it feels like we're in a bubble today. It feels like there's a complete bubble around us and we're not moving and it's not going anywhere. And we feel like we know time, but today doesn't feel like there's any time going by at all. It's in a stasis.
I don't know if you want to respond to this or not, but I'll put it up there. He says, what are your thoughts on Ishmael Perez intel? I want to believe him. I don't know what he said, so I can't say. I can't.
I can say, and then the whole med bed thing is because, and I'm going to say this, and I wouldn't say it unless I know, because I've talked to someone that's close to the military, real military, and I know how they're going to roll out after everything gets done and the money goes in. 24 hours later, they're all going to be in upper levels of the hospitals, first or second floor, or an isolated area, and they already have them, and they pull them in white trucks overnight. It doesn't take a lot to assemble them. So there's not only a couple states they're going to do it. That's not the way it's going to roll out. San Diego, California, is probably one of the biggest military hospitals out of there, and I'm not surprised that that's already going there. So I can say this in a clear process that I think I don't believe he knows what he's talking about when the military hospitals. And there's another one. So you have to understand how that's going to lay out. And I've had the deep conversation with the person that's working with that. She was getting ready to go under the bed and working with this commander. So I'm just telling you,
So they are being rolled out. Here's the thing that I wonder about sometimes. If we actually go to the higher dimension, we don't need a med bed.
We only need to go through it one time. 3 years. They are saying it would take 3 years to do everybody in the world.
Really? Is that what they said?
That's what they're saying.
To get everybody in a med bed?
Yeah.
3 years. Interesting. Why are people wearing masks again? Do you know?
They're NPCs.
So they're still wearing masks. Don't ask for an explanation. There is none.
There isn't. It boggles the mind. It's programming. It's stupidity.
There is. Yeah, that's something that has increased somewhat with that job too. If you look at some of the side effects that they have measured, it's horrific, actually.
Right.
How about sleeping at night?
Oh, forget it. There is no sleep.
There sure isn't, is there?
There is no sleep whatsoever. I mean, we get these comatose 30-minute knockouts in the middle of the day, and that's about it. There's your sleep. Nothing happens at night. We're not even really going to sleep. We're just in a stage of resting the body, and that's about it. When our mind is not going down, that's the problem.
Why isn't it?
Because
is that the
we're looking at things as the way our body used to run in the way we used to crash and burn and go to sleep, and we don't do that no more. Our bodies are changing what it needs. And so what I've always seen on a channeling session in space, these chambers, they put you in these chambers that put you in have to go under in more of a deep trance to get that type of rest in a different way. We're just not resting the same way we used to, and our body is not adapting to that. So, a couple hours, 3 hours max, 4 hours max.
Hey, you know what? It's not
affecting me. Can sleep 8 hours right now, I'd be impressed.
It's not having as negative effect on me as it may have in the past. It's like even though I know I didn't sleep much at night, right. I wake up and I'm still able to function, and I'm not, just dying of being overly tired or anything like that. It's like somehow my body seems to be able to be tolerating less sleep and still able to function.
Right, because as Spirit described it, you got a certain percentage of you is in spirit, and a certain percentage of you is in the flesh. So they always describe to me, you walk a percentage in the spirit, so you need less sleep for the body.
That's
cool. You're not needing it in the same way. Because you're not thinking and processing in the same way of just, I call it the left brain and the right brain situation. You're not using that left brain and dealing with those human egos and concept anymore. You're more on the spirit side of listening to instinct and stuff like that, and tuning into that. I had to go to a sleep study program, and the guy was like, "Okay, we need to see how long it takes you to sleep." I go, "Oh, that won't be a good idea." I need to see how many days you need to put on this monitor. I go, Oh, it can go up to 6 days. There's no way someone can stay up for 6 days. Oh, I can do it. I can do it. And he was shocked when he's like, holy shit, you can. I go, yeah, I can. He goes, there's no way. And I go, there says. It's just, you have to look at what you're tapping into, what type of energy you're consuming. That's the whole thing with this.
6 days. Wow, that's amazing.
I know. It was crazy.
Oh, somebody said military. That's interesting. Military contractors arrested for chemtrails. I hope that's true. They need to stop that crap.
Okay, they what?
Military contractors arrested for chemtrails. So
good. Get them.
Exactly. I hope that's true. Yeah.
They need to go to jail.
Yep. Yeah, those pilots are very highly paid, from what I understand.
Well, they need to throw a little sparkle of chemtrail on their food at dinner at night. Say, go ahead, eat it. Come on. Yeah. Do unto others as you do. I'm just saying.
And some Mags is asking, are we getting close to the EBS and lockdown?
The lockdown's only going to be 3 days.
So the EBS will happen before the lockdown, right? It'll be the... Oh, okay. Here's a question for you. Do you believe free energy devices will be coming out sooner than a month or two?
I think they're starting to present, so I'd say a month.
Okay. They have, this is interesting here. Teresa says, I met a psychic child of China in 2002, just adopted, 13-month-old, could say sentences in English and Mandarin. That's crystal children.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, no, they're not. Here's a question. Are the blood transfusions safe from vaccinated if needed during an operation? No. It's not safe.
No, don't even.
Get your own blood. I mean, there's ways of storing your own blood if you have the resources to do so. But it's not safe. I have a friend who was going to have surgery and had a heck of a time trying to find unvaccinated blood, because a lot of times they don't even check it. They're doing more of that now, but they didn't at first. Oh. Maria says she heard about that black box under the Vatican's pure evil.
It is.
Could be. Well, do NPCs have parents?
No.
Are those the Cabbage Patch Kids? They call them that too.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. I'm looking for more questions. Let's see if this one's a question. Jenny, what do you make of the fires in Ocean County, New Jersey? Any word? Do you know anything about that?
I've been asked that, and I got to tell you, I feel like I think it's coming from the ground.
Underground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, coming up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that before, because you see trees burning from the inside out, and it looks like it came up from the ground.
Well, they just had a fire in Jerusalem too, on that too, and I just feel like it's coming from the ground. What are they burning underneath is the question.
Yeah. Here's another one. Jenny, do you think that there will be more vaccinations mandated this year?
No. Talk about if they tried anything like that, everybody would be not just fuck you all the way. There's no one's going to do it except these NPCs.
Yeah, they're the ones that will do it. And there's a lot of them, too. That's the problem. Now, if vax get pregnant, what type of child will be born? It's lucky if it'll be born.
Yeah.
Most of the time they have
problems.
They have a miscarriage, yeah. So, Wolf Mother says here, this is interesting. There was a huge sea creature off of Africa. They tried to cover it up.
I'm sure.
I didn't see that.
They're surfacing.
Yeah, it's going to get to the point where they just can't cover it up.
Like the dolphins and the whales, and there's always a balance with everything, and sharks and everything. Something bigger comes in or something has changed, and they all react to that in a stressful way. And then you see, because you have to understand how sensitive whales are and sensitive dolphins are to sound, and anything that changes, they react in a different way, like having vertigo. It doesn't. So it kind of tells you there's something going on that's not normal. So I think you're going to see a lot of big things.
Teresa mentioned that vax that did carry a baby to term had black eyes. Many had black eyes. That's not a good thing. Probably a demon. Well, this is interesting. Is this true, Jenny? It's energy from the universe is opening the pineal gland.
Yes, it is.
The frequencies, raising of the frequencies.
It is the frequencies, but the problem is that people don't understand it's coming from within inside you. It is not coming from the outside. It's coming from within you.
The energy?
Yes, the energy that you hear, the frequencies that you're hearing, because you'll hear it and you'll be asking someone else to hear it, and then all of a sudden it's a chain effect. They're hearing it, but they don't recognize that they're not hearing it outside. They are getting it from inside.
So they say, that a lot of people have their pineal gland is calcified. Now, with this energy from the inside, is that going to help?
We're already going through an upgrade, so it's already opening that whole thing up. Because we're going into a 5D upgrade of a crystal line. And that's why last summer we were all like 90-degree weather and we were freezing, because we had to start working with that crystal line within inside us. That thing is that people are not recognizing, and this is the thing that Spirit said, the sound is coming from within you.
That's interesting. Wow.
It's not on the outside. Because if you recorded yourself, you couldn't hear anything on the outside. You would hear it within us.
Wow. Okay. This is, I put this up there because I have seen on Facebook the reels, one after the other, after the other, after the other, showing mermaids.
Yes, and then they're reacting to it too.
Then I read somewhere that the elites eat mermaids.
I heard that too, and I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
What is it they don't eat?
Really?
They were worried about giants eating us, and I'm thinking, yeah, we're worried about you eating us. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Okay, here's another question. Are the doctors which put the jabs will be persecuted?
Yes, soon? They will. They have their bank accounts and they have their bonuses. They know.
Oh, Sage says whales are beaching.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. Are we going to see dragons?
Yes. Specifically, a white one and a green one. A green that has blue in it.
Interesting. Are they friendly dragons?
Yes. Intelligent. What they say, magnificent creatures.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Somebody said, where are the whales?
the whales are hiding and trying to keep away from that frequency. That's the whole
Aren't
thing.
the whales are a very important part of the planet in terms of frequency, from what I understand.
Yes, they are. But what Spirit was showing me, like a gold netting that's starting to hit the planet. I want you to say like a different type of 5D barrier, but they show us the gold particles I always talk about, the gold netting, that it's coming in, and that's forming around. That's the whole process that's happening to us in a different way too, and that's that mirror effect in a different way of how you're seeing, how you're perceiving things. You can't really just say when you're seeing things it's not real, or something doesn't look normal in the face or the reflection. You have to understand the matrix is falling apart. And I said, people that are in the 5D in their path and where they're going down the golden road, and then you have the other ones that are following the red eyes going down the wrong path. You're going to be able to see a lot of things. They won't be able to see it at all. It's about the conscience.
Okay, this is interesting because I heard the same thing. It says, what do you think about the Trump administration informing yesterday all student loans need to be paid? If there's not, they will take it out of your wages, put liens on your homes if you own one. I say that's bullshit. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. I think
it's CGI or something like that.
Yeah, I don't believe they're doing anything.
Those loans are totally fraudulent, just like every other loan put out by those bankers.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Because
I don't believe it either.
Education is going to be free in the first place, so they would start from a fresh slate.
And they rip people off royally for most of their education, what they paid in tuition, and so on. And then they have compounded interest. So you can never get over paying that loan. And so for him to say that's ridiculous. I don't believe it for 1 minute. And that's what you have to, that's where discernment is starting to come in. And it's going to be more and more, because then they keep saying stupid shit like that. And I go, oh my God, I can't even, I barely can pay everything else, let alone pay back a student loan for a number of sessions of indoctrination of lies, because a lot of academia is also responsible for the lies in society, just like the media is, just like big tech is, and just like big pharma. So no, I don't believe that for 1 minute.
No, there's a lot of different things going on, but no, I don't believe it either.
Okay. I don't know what Ishmael Perez has been saying lately. I see a lot of questions about that. Jenny, do you have any comments on that?
This med bed stuff. And
is that what he's been covering?
He's assuming, and he's that he knows about the med beds. And this is the thing. You know what I say, Gail? The documentation is going to follow that verification. And when you're wrong, they're going to remind you that you're wrong. Because it was told, and that's why you need to pay attention to semis at night. Late at night, they're doing everything late at night. Getting all these lined up. So it's not going to be, and they know if there are only a couple being used, I want you to understand this, and society finds out about it, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to go chaos. Okay? So it's like everything else. Everybody gets funded at the same time. And everybody gets well at the same time. So, and they have to let society know there's plenty of these to go around, that you'll have time. So that is such a 3D concept in this process right now. So no. So I don't know where he's getting that information, but it's false.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't listened to him for quite a while. I stopped listening to him. I used to listen to him all the time, and lately I just haven't been. So I don't know what he'd been saying. Okay, this is interesting. I don't know. Laura Eisenhower is saying that medbeds might be an AI consciousness trap.
I don't know. I'll have to look at that one because I don't believe because the AI there were some programs out there that if you got under some of those devices that I think that could hold your conscience, and I think that's when some of the old programs were out.
Either
Feel that no more.
They came out with a bunch of. I mean, there are other people say, "Oh, I got a med bed. I got a med bed." You know, people are making fake med beds. Okay,
I know.
And who knows? Who knows? You know what those might do. You know, if it's made by the dark, maybe it could be do something with your consciousness, or soul, or what have you. So I would only trust the ones that's coming through the military.
I know.
So
exactly. So if you were the enemy and you want to put out some false information out there, and if you wanted to, like I said, it's a soul trap, then you would look at the technology of it and what it looks like, and plus your instinct's going to tell you not to get in it or to get in it. But I wouldn't go anything under it unless the military was in charge of it.
Okay, yeah. Med beds are quantum, not the Tesla beds. I don't know what the Tesla beds are. Probably they just named it that in order to think that it's all great and wonderful, right. And it's not the real thing. Wow. I said that you should no good sleep these days, and all the head noises and shaking body. I've had some quivering sometimes. It's weird.
Yes.
And strange things in my stomach at times.
Yeah.
That I'm not accustomed to. Scrolling through these. If you see one before I do, go ahead and here's one maybe. Is NOAA responsible for chemtrails? Is it true arrests are being made?
I think there's more than that. So I don't think it's just one society. I think there's more involved. You know what a good example is to shoot one of those planes down, and it would stop those pilots from doing it ever again. I would tell you, you get caught doing that, we're just going to make sure you're out of the area that risks the plane coming down.
Well, that's what they're probably afraid of, is that other people would get hurt, so they don't want to shoot them down because of that. For that
well, they're going to
reason.
start to.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Is that what? For sure, they're going to shoot them down.
If they start to,
wow. Yep. That would be awesome. I hope they do. What about, is there anything on the ships that are surrounding the planet? So you got any updates on any of that information?
What I've got on there is just that there's a ton of them. They're everywhere. It's not hard to perceive these storms and some of the stuff, the activity and everything that's going on. It's kind of normal now that they're right above us.
Will the RV happen before the EBS and lockdown?
No, it's all going to be consistent at the same time.
Okay. What about this one here? The $5,000 stimulus, was that
I think it's going to be more.
You think it's going to be?
Yeah, I think they're trying to get it to a bigger amount.
Well, I think right now people would appreciate any amount just for some relief, because you can always do it again. Okay. As far as strawman accounts go, when the Vatican went down and the Pope went down, I think this liberated
the birth certificate.
birth
We
certificate.
knew the birth certificate. This is the thing, that we knew it was ours, but we could not get them to reimburse us for the birth certificate. And I've been waiting for that. So this should open up the floodgates for us to get the certification to get that now. We should be able to trade in our bond.
But there would have to be a procedure for that, right?
Yes, and that's the thing. They held it up. Their legal law was able to do it, but they never allowed us to. So now they should be able to allow us to secure that bond.
Okay. Are the rods of God going to destroy the Vatican and other satanic monuments? They talked about that. Is that still still on?
It's still going on. Looking at the bridges, the symbolism, it has to go down with it. The buildings, all of it. You gotta.
It's going to look like a real world war.
It is, but when things happen, you're going to see all these bells appear, and the sound of the bells, because the bells, like which I knew, when the bell irritates my ex, and I've heard something about the reptilians, how they can't stand the bells. That's why they hit it, which makes sense. So
they destroyed all the bells.
They tried, but they didn't. They buried them. Yes, there was a monster, and I'm sure it's still underneath there. And how they're going to handle that is going to be an unusual situation.
What kind of monster is it? I mean, maybe nobody knows. I don't.
In the description,
might sound like a stupid question, but you know.
In the description that I got from the situation, it has to stay in darkness, and then to feed off the souls of that whole process. So dealing with this huge entity is going to need some strategizing to deal with it. It's not a good situation.
Breaking: activist judge harboring trendy Agora was arrested. First arrest. I think it's happening on video too. Okay. Too many is the answer to that one. How many children vaxxed will be sterile? Too many. This is interesting. Okay, somebody's saying this. I called today, gave DeSantis' office about chemtrails, and they said they still didn't sign legislation about chemtrails. And the House of Representatives in your county, we had chemtrails 3 days. These I tell you what, these Congress people need to go from the local level to the state level. They
need to go from the fucking White House to the damn
all the way down,
hanging out in the public and seeing the public hanging. Sorry,
it's going to come to that. People are the militia is going to do it if they don't do something pretty soon. I mean, people are really, really, really getting upset about things. I hear a lot of it, and. That's New York. It's funny that I noticed seeing things lately out of the corner of my eye. So strange. I do the same things. Like I've seen what appeared to be a person. Yeah. I've seen what appeared to be an animal, like a cat or a dog or something like that. But I've also seen but then I look and it's not there. but that's weird. But anyway, I've had that experience too, New York.
Okay. We'll do one more question and then right after that.
Yeah, it's later than usual. If you see one you like, let me know. Yeah, they did. Wolf Mother. I was told I was one too. You know anything about this? What new soul did Mr. T get?
He didn't get a new soul. Never got a new soul. It was just the same one since they put in the vessel. It's been guarding. So no, it's the same.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is what we're talking back to the mermaids. Teresa's saying, I saw where an elite house on the ocean had a hunting team for mermaids to eat and had some in huge tanks.
Ugh.
You know, from the pictures I've seen some that were very pretty, and then I've seen some that were extremely ugly, really more monster-like. And I don't know. I don't know if some of them were just fake CGI stuff or what. But
right.
Okay, here's the last. Let's take this as a lesson. Will lawsuits from credit card companies be suspended? If so, when, and when is NESARA gets fully implemented?
I think so, because all the whole credit card sham and the banking sham and all the interest sham. So it's all going to be as soon as they implement our republic, our laws, they're going to step into. So.
Okay, where did you? Well, I don't know. You can't answer dates, but you get money before 7th. People are hurting for funds. I'm
money,
afraid.
I know. I think there's gonna be a release here soon.
I sure hope so. I don't like to have to ask for donations or sales or any of that. I really don't. But I'm running my Good Send Go because I do need help.
Yeah.
And right now I'm in a situation where additional family members have come to stay, and I need to go. So, and it unfortunately costs a great deal to do so. And I don't have family that will take me in either. So, that being said, if anyone is able to donate or to purchase anything, every little bit helps. So, wow, there's still a whole lot of chat questions. They just go on and on. Do you need to go, or?
No, we can do a couple more.
Okay. I was just trying to get to the bottom and go back up. I can't even get to the bottom of the questions.
That's okay.
Woo! Finally. So, well, somebody just asked us. Apparently, we'll be. Well, wait, that wasn't it. Will we be seeing mermaids?
No, I think they're going to be a little bit hidden for a while. I mean, they were just as hunted as we were. So I wouldn't trust any man for a while either.
Yeah, so yeah. I know how people feel. It says, I killed myself to pay off over 11,000 in debt these past 3 years. It's still not done, and I keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the EBS reset. That's how a lot of people feel, exactly the same way.
I know, we all want it.
We all are.
And you got to keep your eye on the debt clock, because that's the one that's telling you everything. A lot of people just don't watch that debt clock, and they need to be watching it.
Oh, okay. Who did Shirka hook up with? Oh, I don't. I don't have any idea on that one. Are we in any danger from those large sea creatures?
I don't feel so, no.
Maybe if you go out on the ocean in a rowboat.
Stay out of the water.
I wouldn't advise it. I don't know if I'd want to swim in the ocean right now either. Oh my, folks come on this platform right now instead of gossip about others you don't agree with. Well, folks concentrate on this platform right now instead of gossip about others you don't agree with. That happens a lot, and I wish people would stop doing that. People are separating more than coming together, and that is not a good thing. But I don't know how you bring NPCs into unity. You know, and if they outnumber us, how do you do that? Or we don't have to worry about that. What's your thoughts on that?
The point is, you have to be truthful about what you feel spiritually, and instead of trying to make everybody peaceable and feel like you're just pleased with everybody, that's just being completely fake. So you got to be honest from the heart of what's going on. So it's what we're down to in the spiritual community is the fact that there's a certain percentage that, it's just a yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, and following along with the narrative. And Spirit puts us on the path. It does not sway on the path. It keeps us structured on the path. And the people it's going 5 different directions and not making up their mind in what direction, that is not the way it works with Spirit in any way. So it's a veil of understanding of looking at this whole process, and you have to be true to what you're getting. And that's one thing I've always said. I mean, I'm on my own path in my own way, and I stick to what Spirit says. So I call it out: a spade, a spade; a fake, a fake. It's the way it is. I didn't come here for anything else but the truth.
Yeah, it's not like you're lying.
Nope.
Okay. Jason Q, is he back on? I mean, he was around for a while. I interviewed him probably a year or 2 ago, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. I haven't seen him for a long time.
I don't know.
Well, here's a question. Let me see what this one is. What role does the Galactic Federation play in the whole process of ascension?
Higher technology and advancement of understanding where we're going. And the communication with other beings. Like a board of directors.
Oh, this is a good question here. What is the horrible thing that Trump and others are referring to that the public will learn of soon? Is he going to reveal human trafficking details? I mean, that's already been revealed, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a little different. I mean, you have to understand they're looking at our kids like they're a delicacy. So you have to look at yeah, I'm just saying.
You think that might be referring? You think that might be referring to that? Probably. Yes. So that's going to blow up people's minds that don't know anything about it. It really is. They're just going to totally freak out, and rightly so. But they have to reimburse us for our birth certificates. They must secure our birth certificate. Now, I had somebody say, well, we didn't earn that money. They did. They used us like cattle and traded us on the market, but we didn't do the trading to make the money. But
the point is, it's our birth certificate. Ours. Yeah. No one owns us.
Right, and they didn't have the right to do that, and they just did it anyway. Somebody said Trump found he's found a lot of stuff, especially with Doge. He found a large trust, 160 trillion. Will he use that to help humanity? Who knows? He's got more than enough money to help humanity. Practically everybody on the entire planet, really, from what I've heard and read. IV evaluation. Do you know anything about why the burning of pine barrens in New Jersey? You know anything about that?
Well, what I'm saying,
fire?
it has to do with what's happening in the ground.
Okay. Oh, so it wasn't necessarily burned down for a specific reason. It's something, it came from underground?
Yes.
Okay. I guess we didn't clarify that. That's a good question. Why aren't the medbeds being used on disabled veterans like right now?
I think they are.
You do?
I do.
Covertly.
Yep.
Well, they would be, first the children from the underground bases would first to get rid of the trauma, and God knows what they all done to them. And then the disabled veterans would be next, I would think. Well, I'm just scrolling for questions. If you have, let's see. I don't know. Let me see if there's any more back down here. It's looking like I'm kind of running out of questions that I notice anyway. So if you asked a question earlier and you want it answered now, please put it in the chat now at the end, because I just scrolled down to the end. So let's see. Well, somebody asked, will Barron be the last president?
No, there is no president after Trump. We're going to a council, a regions. We're not going into another president.
See, yeah, one of the things, when you have a president, that's usually really referring to a corporation. You have a president of a corporation. The constitutional republic is not a corporation. And so there won't be any more presidents, like Jenny said.
The councils.
Okay, somebody said this is true. Blade Runner says he's got information, is referring to Ishmael. Jenny's got information. Gail's got information. Honey C has information. Find what your soul agrees with from all of them and keep away from the trap of the 3-day drama.
Yes.
Very much so. I'm at a point where I don't care about paying bills except the one for shelter and phone.
Yeah.
I can relate. All right. Well.
Yeah, so I just think, you're going to be kind of just very tired in a different way. It's a draining process, a conscience drain process that's hitting everything. But the best thing you can do is go outside now that it's spring and, be outside as much as you can to just shake that off a little bit.
Out in nature, nothing like nature for anything. Somebody's asking about, do you have any thoughts on the real ID, or is it another money scam?
I think it's another money scam.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. I better watch my mouth. Okay. Well, it looks like we're kind of running out of questions here. A lot of statements in general, but Somebody asked, has Trump time traveled?
Yes. Yes, he has.
Okay. Is that even possible? 26 quadrillion in gold.
Yep.
I know they had, what was it, 650 planes from the gold underneath the Vatican. These people that stole all of this gold and all of our money and so on, and they just have it sitting there. You know, it's like hoarding
Greed is
something.
amazing, isn't it? That type of greed is amazing.
Holy smokes.
Because
Yeah.
greed leads to control.
Look at how many people they could help and don't even think about that.
No, they do
And it's
not.
just sitting there doing nothing with the funds. It's just ridiculous.
Yep.
Okay, somebody's asking, is Trump in the real Trump is in
Yes.
Cheyenne Mountain?
Yes.
Along with
Yes.
his true family? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody asked if your dog was a ventriloquist. Sounded like a cat. Okay. Well, why don't we just, if you have any final things to say.
No, I mean, people know how to get a hold of me and all that stuff and get for classes and sessions and everything. But I mean, right now, just expect to feel tired through the weekend. Wait for that energy boost to go the opposite direction, but you're not going to feel that way. And then I noticed that everything's very quiet today so something's about to hit. I think we'll be surprised tomorrow, but you can tell something's, and I know it's a rest, but we want to get to a point of either, like I said, clearing out the debt or clearing out the IRS. If we can get either one of those, I think society would be happy, but something needs to move in that area. Some door needs to open up so we can get going.
People really need to see something to have faith that things are going in the right direction.
Exactly.
And a lot of things have been said that haven't been followed up on. Like if you pulled your kid out of school in order to be able to homeschool and will promise 10 grand to do so, how do you get that? How do you apply for that? How, right. That kind of thing. Not happening. And then we were told about the 5,000. Well, that didn't happen either. So that's beginning to create
chaos,
doubt and chaos with people. So
and frustration and madness. Yes.
Yeah. It's okay.
Exactly.
So that being said, stay in the light, shine your light, and speak up, speak out. Don't fall for all the media garbage where they want to control what you see, what you say, and what you think. So they just want total compliance. Anyway, stand in the light and learn how to rely on your heart and your own discernment by going within, which Christ always told us anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Have anything else you want to say, Jenny?
That will be it for tonight. You guys stay in the light. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Take care, everyone. Much love out there.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, well, gee, I might have to just end the show because none of my, for some reason, my video clips are not working. I don't know what the problem is. I will have to check with Restream about that. And while I'm here, if I'm really in a very tight spot, and if anyone is able to help, I'd greatly appreciate it. I just wish they would release some of those funds so I wouldn't have to ask for anything. And I'd like to thank everyone that has helped in the past. So again, stay in the light. I guess I have to end this, and I guess I should do my disclaimer. as well. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only, and there's no medical advice or anything of that nature. So I am going to have to end this without my usual ending, because I keep getting a pop-up that says that I have to talk to Restream. So anyway,